Breaking news, the Chicago Bulls have officially begun their search process to find an executive to take over basketball operations for the team. What is going on, y'all? FaizSportsTalk back at it with another video talking, of course, some NBA, and here to talk about the Bulls. So if you're a Bulls fan, make sure you go ahead and subscribe, folks. Hit the big red subscribe button down below. Turn on my post notifications, and make sure you follow me on my social media. My links down below for my Twitter, my Instagram. Go ahead and reach out. With that being said, a lot to talk about with this breaking news, what it means for the Bulls, what's happening to Gar and Pax, who are they looking at? I'm going to get into all of that and more. So finally, after years of begging and pleading and more begging and more pleading, the Bulls have finally listened to us, and they are moving forward by going to look for another person to bring in and replace Gar and Pax in the front office. I literally could cry right now. Tears of joy because of how happy I am. And folks, you guys have no idea how much this means to me. I mean, there was a time when I didn't think this was possible because the Bulls have been stuck in this damn cycle of mediocrity, and we finally see the light, okay? And Adrian Wojnarowski just broke this news. He tweeted this out and basically said the Bulls have begun searching for a new top-level executive to take over full control, keyword, full control of basketball operations for the Chicago Bulls. Now, let's talk about Gar and Pax. Did they get fired? No, okay? Adrian Wojnarowski also tweeted that the organization will decide what to do with Paxson and Foreman and whether or not they're going to be in adversary roles or another role. And here's the thing. I had already accepted that. I told you guys about this news a few months ago, talking about the Bulls are going to shake up the front office, okay? We had been hearing grumblings, so I'm not surprised by that Gar and Pax aren't fired, because I told you this, and I'll say it one more time. Gar Forman and John Paxson, and more so John Paxson than Gar Forman, would have never gotten fired and won't get fired because they have a family type of relationship, if you will, with the Reinsdorf family, okay? I think one of the wives, I think Paxson's wife or Gar Forman's wife, one of them's best friends with Michael Reinsdorf, the son of Jerry Reinsdorf's wife. So, like, that's that, like, connection there. And, again, they're not going to humiliate John Paxson and Gar Forman by firing them. They won't do it. And so that was part of my reason, right? I never thought this would actually happen. But now they finally decided to at least put that aside and go ahead and move them from a position of power. Okay, so I'll take it. You know, it's better than nothing, certainly. And, again, Woj tweeted full control. That is huge here, because even if you have John Paxson and Gar Forman in adversary roles, they won't have full authority. You will have this new executive, we're hoping here, crossing my fingers, that that person will have that full authority. And so this is going to be a new GM coming in and taking over that role for the Bulls. So Gar Forman is certainly out of the GM role. He's probably going to go back into a scouting role. And John Paxson is going to go to an adversary role. Okay, so this is fantastic, Bulls fans. It literally took a global pandemic, but we finally got Gar and Pax out of there. And we are now going to get a new GM. So I love it, okay? Now, here's the thing. As far as the rest of this season, we know the Bulls are going to make the playoffs, and even if they do, they get wiped out in the first round. This season's a scrap, okay? And it looks like it might be a scrap in general. I don't even know if the NBA is going to come back this season. But moving forward, the Bulls will have a GM for next season, okay? Now, Woj also tweeted that they're looking at multiple GMs. He threw out a couple of names, the Denver Nuggets GM, the Raptors GM. No, not Masai Ujiri. I believe he is president of basketball operations. I don't think he's the GM. But those are some of the names they threw out. And here's the thing. I'll make a separate video on the candidates that I like for the GM job. But whoever it is, you need, obviously, experience here. You need somebody who's done it, you know, kind of like how the Cubs had done it with Theo Epstein. You know, he had won a title with the Red Sox. They brought him in, and he worked that magic with the Cubs. And so we kind of need something similar with the Bulls, okay? Somebody who's coming in, they know that it is a championship or bust mentality. The Bulls roster isn't bad, folks. People always think the Bulls roster's awful. No, we have a bunch of workable pieces on this roster, from Zach LaVine to Lauri Markkanen to Wendell Carter Jr. to now Kobe White's emergence this season. We have the pieces, okay? This Bulls team, with a few tweaks, they're easily a playoff team. And with a few good, more good players added, could potentially be more than that. So there is certainly a solid nucleus for any GM coming in to work with. They're not literally starting from scratch here. And again, take a look at the Philadelphia 76ers when they, started their process and they trusted the process and they became championship contenders. I want the same thing to happen with the Bulls. So again, as far as who we get here for a general manager position, I will make a separate video about that, but we need somebody experienced. But let me just be happy and just be absolutely ecstatic that Gar and Pax are finally out. We never thought this would happen, but it did, folks. It feels like a national holiday. Like, celebrate it. Let's just absolutely just lose it, because at this point, I don't even know how to feel, okay? Gar and Pax are out of here, and I'm loving it, okay? I am loving it. So, let's see what happens, folks, but more to come. I will definitely give you guys an idea of who I like for the GM position for the Bulls. But listen, this is literally the best realistic case scenario, okay? I told you, the Bulls management, Ryan Storm family, was never going to humiliate and fire John Paxson and Gar Forman, more so John Paxson. But this was the next best case scenario. Just move them out. Just say they have a role when they really don't. Okay, so there you have, folks. Let me know how you guys feel about this. Do you still think Gar and Pax are going to have some sort of authority? Let me know down below. I don't. And let me know who you guys are looking for GM. So, as always, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please make sure to subscribe. As always, thanks for watching.